Hi guys, so for this video, I'm going to be covering all the latest and greatest box fighting techniques in Chapter 2 Season 4. I made a video sorta similar to this at the beginning of the season, but a lot has changed since then, so I thought why not update it. What I'll be showing here today include new phasing exploits, new piece control methods, and yes, even some ways to use items like the gas cans that you normally would not pick up. I hope you're all excited for this. I've spent a lot of time on it. I was actually gonna upload it last week, but I spent some time just trying to find in-game clips, and lucky for you guys, I got some amazing examples that will really help you out. So without further ado, I'll shut my fat head up and we can get right on into the video. First technique is the new best way to exploit into your opponent's box using Shockwave Grenades. Alright, so the way this works is you need a Shockwave. You do not need to build 2 or 3 floors out like you usually do. We're gonna phase into this box while being right in front of it. All you need to do is place a cone above you. I guess you can place a floor, but you need to edit it if you do. You then want to aim the Shockwave right above your head, kind of towards the front half of the cone, and as you throw it, you want to run up against this wall. At full speed, it looks like this. Boom, you're right in his box. No counter to that. Not gonna lie, I kind of lied. There is one counter. If your opponent has a ramp like that, it will not break the ramp. The wall will break, but not the ramp. However, if they have a cone, that will break. One thing I suggest you do is after you break their cone, or if there's no build in there, place down your own cone for piece control. So that would look like this. You do the trick, cone, boom. You guys know I love piece control, and this is a really smart way to do it as you exploit. From your opponent's POV, they'll be in their box, they'll have no idea what you're doing. Not many people will expect that. Here's Benchu Fishy, who I personally learned it from, using it in Arena. Next up, we have a 200 IQ box fighting strat using Crashpads. By now, all of you should know this exploit where you place a cone or a ramp on the side of your opponent's 1x1, and when you aim your Crashpad at the bottom of the build, you'll go straight into their box from the top. The problem with this is that you're basically creating a 50-50 shotgun battle that any good player can kind of see coming and murder you like that. Kazaki's got them nice flicks. The much safer thing to do is start the same exact way, either with a cone or ramp while on top of your opponent's box. Then instead of remaining on top of the box as you throw the crash pad, you want to jump to the side like that, replace the wall, edit it open, easy damage. I get that this is not as quick as the original way, but one way to make it faster and still safer is to pre-edit your wall, either into an arch, maybe a top right corner edit, then do exactly what I showed you. You have a wall here for piece control now, and you could establish even more piece control in the box. Easy kill, and so much safer because you're not actually forcing your way into the box, which creates 50-50 gunfights and is not good. A lot of people will be expecting the crash pad from the top. However, because you're an itsJerian viewer, holding my cone, oh gosh. It's pretty busted. Watch the legend himself, Phase Martos, beautifully utilize this trick from his last video. Third on my list is a new box fighting edit that I've never seen before that is insanely useful in game. The edit itself is very simple. All you do is while you're on a ramp, you edit it backwards, basically flip it, you guys know that. But what you also do is right after you flip it, you want to cut it in half the original way it was. Full speed, flip, cut like that. It's gonna fake my opponent out. Here's why. Say I somehow get my opponent boxed up under my ramp, every half decent player is gonna expect a normal ramp edit. However, what they will not expect is for you to flip the ramp, see you on it, and then right as they go to shoot, you edit it this way, they miss like that, boom, you get the kill. This is what the edit looks like. Oh my gosh. Throws me off completely. Also, this looks so sick for montages. Come on now. One useful tip for editing the ramp is to make the edit from the top corner to the right corner. That way you can immediately edit the right side really easily. Obviously, you could go all the way back and then all the way up again, but it's quicker to just go like that. I first saw this from a YouTuber named Pinocchio, but he learned it from the GOAT Cooler Aqua. Trick number 4 is a crazy way to combine gas cans and shockwaves that I can almost guarantee none of you have seen before. In case you guys did not know, gas cans do damage if they're lit and they explode. 80 damage to your opponent. That was not supposed to happen. It blew up the one in your hand. The way this works is anytime your opponent is either above you, that's when it works best, or if they're pressuring your wall and they're kind of a maniac trying to get inside of it, what you can do is shockwave yourself up, and as you do that, swap to your gas can, then swap to a separate weapon and or a shield, and for some weird reason, it will light the gas can and explode it on your opponent. He's on my wall, say he's about to exploit in. I'm gonna shockwave up, swap, then swap again, and you can see it lights it and did 100 damage. That did even more than a normal gas can. I'll show it one more time because you do have to be quick. I'm gonna shockwave, swap, boom, it's lit, quite literally, and it would have done damage if he was closer. The key is to make sure right after you shockwave, you swap to the gas can, then you swap to something else. If you do not swap from the gas can, it's not gonna light, nothing's gonna happen. I have no idea why it works, why it lights itself, but for some reason it does, and it's really effective. I'm not exactly who found this first. All I know is I got it from Young Calc while watching his last stream. Just about halfway through, let's take a look at Booga's favorite box fighting trick. You guys may remember this from my video on pro building and editing tricks. What Booga does is anytime he's gonna pressure his opponent's wall, he'll build a cone right in front of it, hit the wall once, and as soon as he does that, he'll edit the 2 front tiles of his cone up and place a wall out to his left. That way he can make this edit like this, and he has a bunch of different options depending on what his opponent does. Sometimes you'll see him reset this, try to take the wall, easy damage. Other times, if he knows his opponent is going to edit out to the side, he'll establish piece control beforehand. That way when they do, boom. You could even, if you're really crazy, come and reset this, then use it to phase into your opponent's box. That's only for the psychos. Now, why it's so effective and why it's so safe is that straight off the bat, you have this cone there to protect any edit they can make. I'm holding my ramp, they cannot break it, and I'm defended. Then this wall out to the side that he edits basically gives you an exit plan in case your opponent edits out and piece controls you. So they think you're boxed, but you're really not. You have this wall the whole time. And last but not least, it's quick enough where there's really no counter. No matter what they do, you always have a way out, a way to get back on offense. This is the best box fighting move I will show. Here's your opponent's POV. They'll see you pressuring their wall with a cone, go for the edit, shot gets blocked, no piece control. Oh no. Chill out, Kazaki. No. He's trying to clip me in my own video. The first time I showed this was to secure a kill, so here's 2 different instances of Booga utilizing it offensively and defensively. On the topic of useful box fighting moves, our next trick is a really smart edit to throw off your opponents. At a base level, this edit is just a right hand peek, then maybe half a second after you do that, edit it again without resetting it into this edit. Basically a left side edit with this tiny little column. At full speed, you also want to run out after you make this edit. Everyone is going to expect you to jump up behind the peanut butter edit because that is what everyone does during box fights. However, because you watch itsJerian, you're going to edit this and run out as you do it. Right onto your opponent, shoot them in the face.
Walk me through your strategy for the end of the next 3 games.
Shoot them in the head.
Shoot them in the head. You heard it here first. Back to you, GV and Monster.
He's going to make that top right corner edit. I'm going to be waiting for him to jump like any normal player would when he runs out and destroys me. Oh my gosh! By the way, I learned it from a UK player named Pink. He calls it the Pink Classic. I guess I'll call it that too. Moving on, technique number 7 is a really simple box fighting and piece control tip that you guys need to learn. In order to explain this little tip, you need to understand what Reese Hub calls double piece control. The best example is placing a floor, then a cone above your opponent, and of course, editing onto them. The reason he calls it double piece control is because you're taking their floor and their cone. It's not one layer of piece control control like a wall would be, or something like a cone inside their box. It's 2 because you get the floor and the cone. The optimization that Resub taught me is that anytime you try to do one of the advanced piece control methods, something when you wall off your opponent's side, edit it open, and then cone them top and bottom, this is a great way to establish piece control, but just like how you place a floor and cone, there is an optimal and unoptimal way to actually do it. Just think about it. The reason that you place the floor first and then the cone is because that floor is the closest to them, and that's going to be your opponent who's down here, their first level of protection. Well, for this wall example, wouldn't it make more sense to place the cone first, then the wall? That way you took away their first layer of protection, which would be a ramp right here, if you already have that wall. Not only are you getting that first layer of protection, which would be their ramp, by placing down your cone first, but you're also minimizing the time it takes to pull out your shotgun right after the edit. You can now shoot because you already have this cone down, you already have the wall, and it's edited. Usually you would kind of be stuck with your pants down because you would edit the wall open, then have to place the cone, and then be able to shoot. That gives your opponent a lot of time to shoot back at you, even if they're piece controlled all the way around. For a little takeaway, anytime you establish double piece control, you want to optimize it just like you would a floor, then a cone. If you're going to place a wall and cone, do the cone first. If you're going to ramp over someone after taking their floor, place the ramp first, then the floor like that. While they're tiny little optimizations and tips, they really will help you in fights, and obviously establish piece control before your opponent does. itsJerian approved. 8th and 9th techniques are 2 more Shockwave exploits that, again, I highly recommend you master. The first Shockwave trick is one that's going to exploit you right into your opponent's box from the top. How you do it is you need to be on top of their 1x1, one floor unit off to the side, and for safety purposes, just being your own 1x1. From there, build a cone, edit the cone up like this, the 2 front tiles, and you want to be beneath it. Aim the shockwave at the front half of the edited cone, and once you throw it, walk forward up into this wall. That way, you go straight down into their box. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I think if you're fast enough, you can actually establish piece control on their cone and floor if you don't want to go and phase right into their box. Kind of like that. Just make sure you make a better edit than I did. Full metal base. I see my opponent above me. I have no idea what he's doing. Oh my. No counters to that. This other shockwave trick is kind of similar. You're going to get into your opponent's box, but this time you're going to do it on the same level as them. Like I just showed, you want to box up and place a ramp above you that is facing their box. I do not know what Kazaki is doing right now. Anyways, you're going to shockwave the center of this wall. Just make sure that you back up towards the ramp. Otherwise, like I just showed, you're going to get blocked by it. Back up, throw it, boom. Oh my gosh, that is busted. I understand it's a little weird to box up like this and have this ramp between you guys, but it is so much faster than doing it the normal way of setting up these 2 tiles, aiming at the center, and then doing it. The end result's the same, however, it's so much quicker to do it this new way. The 10th and final trick is an ingenious way to use gas cans. All this trick is that you can essentially use gas cans like you would in RPG. Just throw a gas can next to your opponent's box, shoot at it to blow it up, and then replace their wall with it. You can also, when you want to play it safe, do it from a distance. So right click to throw it right in front of their wall, blow it up, get a nice shot, and they'll rebuild the wall. And now you can start the fight with some damage. Your opponent will be able to hear you throw the gas can, and they may expect you to try to either shoot them or replace their wall, but unless they really know where you are, it's going to be hard to, and you should get the elimination. Overall, guys, those are all the best box fighting techniques in Chapter 2 Season 4. Let me know down below which was your favorite, as well as any I may have missed out on. In addition to that, if you enjoyed the video or you learned something new, do be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel somewhere down here, and to turn on my post notifications. Shout out to everyone on the screen for using code JERIAN. You guys know I love each and every one of you. The best place to get a response from me is probably on Twitter. Just send me a picture of you using my code, and I got you for a shout out. Otherwise, that's it from me, and I will see you guys in the next one. Later.